Thomas Jefferson, born on April 13, 1743, in Shadwell, Virginia, was one of the most influential figures in American history. As the third President of the United States, he shaped the nation's early political, intellectual, and cultural development. His legacy encompasses a wide range of accomplishments, from authoring the Declaration of Independence to expanding the country's territory and championing the ideals of democracy and individual rights. Jefferson was born into a wealthy Virginia family, the son of Peter Jefferson, a successful planter, and Jane Randolph Jefferson. He received a classical education at the College of William and Mary, where he developed an interest in philosophy, law, and the sciences. After completing his studies, he began practicing law and soon became involved in Virginia's political life. Jefferson's intellectual pursuits and interest in Enlightenment ideas would profoundly influence his political thinking throughout his career. Jefferson's political career began in the Virginia House of Burgesses, where he was first elected in 1769. He was an early critic of British colonial policies, especially after the passage of the Stamp Act in 1765, which sparked resistance throughout the colonies. Jefferson wrote a summary view of the rights of British America in 1774, which argued for colonial independence and rejected British authority over the colonies. This pamphlet garnered attention and helped establish Jefferson as a leading voice for independence. In 1776, Jefferson was appointed to the Continental Congress, and it was there that he would play his most famous role. As part of a committee assigned to draft a declaration justifying the colony's decision to break away from Great Britain, Jefferson took on the responsibility of writing the first draft of what became the Declaration of Independence. His eloquent prose and philosophical principles laid the foundation for American independence, declaring that all men are endowed with certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration was approved by the Continental Congress on July 4, 1776, marking the birth of the United States. Following the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson served as a diplomat in Europe, representing the United States in France from 1784 to 1789. His time in France deeply influenced his political thinking, and he was an advocate for the expansion of French-inspired ideals of liberty and republicanism in the United States. In 1790, he returned to the U.S. and became the first Secretary of State under President George Washington. During this period, Jefferson became a vocal critic of the centralizing policies of Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton. Jefferson's vision of government was one of limited federal power, believing that power should be concentrated at the state and local levels. This vision led to the formation of the Democratic-Republican Party, which opposed the Federalists led by Hamilton and advocated for a more agrarian, decentralized republic. In 1796, Jefferson was elected vice president under President John Adams, a position he held during a period of growing political division between the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans. The election of 1800, however, marked a pivotal moment in American history. Jefferson ran for president against Adams, and the election proved to be one of the most contentious in U.S. history. The outcome was a tie between Jefferson and his running mate, Aaron Burr, leading to a contingent election in the House of Representatives, which ultimately chose Jefferson as the winner. The peaceful transfer of power from the Federalists to the Democratic Republicans was a landmark moment in the development of American democracy. Thomas Jefferson's presidency was marked by significant achievements, both domestically and internationally. One of his first actions as president was to reduce the national debt, cut military spending, and repeal internal taxes, following his belief in a frugal government. His administration worked to dismantle many of the policies of the Federalist era, including the Alien and Sedition Acts and the centralized financial system championed by Hamilton. One of Jefferson's greatest accomplishments was the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. Faced with the opportunity to acquire a vast territory from France, Jefferson took a bold step in expanding the United States. The purchase, which doubled the size of the nation, was a defining moment in Jefferson's vision for the country. He believed that the expansion of the nation's agrarian economy would secure its future and strengthen its republican ideals. Although the purchase was not explicitly authorized by the Constitution, Jefferson justified it on the grounds of implied presidential powers. Jefferson's presidency also saw the Lewis and Clark expedition, a monumental journey to explore the newly acquired Western territories. Commissioned by Jefferson in 1804, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark's expedition provided valuable information about the geography, flora, fauna, and native peoples of the western United States. Despite his domestic successes, Jefferson faced numerous challenges abroad. In 1807, he signed the Embargo Act, which aimed to punish Britain and France for interfering with American trade by prohibiting American ships from engaging in foreign commerce. The embargo, however, had a devastating effect on the American economy and was deeply unpopular, leading to its eventual repeal in 1809. Jefferson also navigated the challenges posed by the Barbary pirates, who were capturing American ships and demanding tribute from the U.S. government. Jefferson responded by sending the U.S. Navy to the Mediterranean, a decisive move that helped establish the United States' growing military presence on the world stage. After leaving office in 1809, Jefferson retired to his estate, Monticello, in Virginia. He remained active in public life, advocating for education, religious freedom, and the expansion of democratic principles. In 1813, he helped found the University of Virginia, which reflected his belief in the importance of public education for the Republic's future. Jefferson's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He is remembered as a champion of liberty and a key architect of the American Revolution. His vision for an agrarian republic and his advocacy for limited government shaped the nation's political philosophy for generations. However, Jefferson's legacy is also shadowed by his ownership of slaves and his failure to reconcile the ideals of freedom with the reality of slavery, which he did not confront during his lifetime. Thomas Jefferson died on July 4, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, making his passing a symbolic end to the founding era of American history. His influence remains deeply ingrained in the nation's institutions, values, and identity.